We're taking textiles in our environment and we're bringing in the fashion. Well, the designers of SA Menswear Week have taken over our studio this morning. And now, we're taking a look at some decor and design. Fashion designers are often inspired about what goes on around them, so their surroundings. And this morning, we're taking a look in our studio at some of our famous designers and how spaces influences their clothing. Good morning. You had a little gig. Mzikisi is like, ha, ha, ha. I'm having a good... Gilmore, it's good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you.
Good to see you too. Totally proud of you guys as you are representing and making this work. I mean, I'm going to go straight into it in designers who are inspired by their environments. I'm looking at something like House of Hackney. For most of us, incredible fashion, inspired by decor. We're talking here about seamless and design, British studio designing. Let's talk about you guys. I mean, how do spaces influence the way you design?
For me, I feel like it's life in general. It's always a way for me to draw inspiration. And if you talk about life, you talk about what people are looking at, and that translates into the stuff that they bring into their houses. So it's kind of interesting for me to kind of feed off from that and get inspired as to the silhouettes that I'm going to play around with when I'm using or when I'm creating the collection. So it's pretty cool. It's life inspiring the collection.
I love that, life inspiring the collection. What do you design under so that we can look out for you?
It's actually Imprint, which is at Imprint_ZA.
Okay, well, we'll be looking out for that. Another designer who we're featuring this morning that incorporates design with the environment and everything around them is Karl Lagerfeld. Karl Lagerfeld, designer of Chanel. I mean, nothing short of a fashion icon and simply absolutely amazing. His living spaces are just as iconic. And if we think of the influences that brings to his designs, we can call it a fashion library, literally. His New York apartment that epitomizes minimalism and that brings it to his work. But I mean, Gilmore, let's get to you. When we think of the things that you design, where do you get your inspiration and creativity from?
You know, funny enough, I'm just looking at the pictures going on and I'm seeing books and shelves. For me, I think shelves in places like the National Galleries and places just... you don't want to be conventional and say, oh, you know what, I'm inspired by birds flying in the air, things like that. It's not real for me, but I think I'm inspired by the space within. I need to have a book of shelves. That's one thing for sure, whether in the office, whether at home, not in the kitchen, obviously, because I don't want to cook my books, but in every other space, because that also takes it outside. Then you find also there's a lot of square and architectural kind of drawings that we pick from those and then you put in the outfits that we do. So, yeah, books of shelves, the galleries, places that are just a bit quiet, that allows you to think and find your own inspiration. Those are the places.
I like how you said that because it's outside of your studio. It's not something that you find where you are.
No.
I mean, there was a time that fashion was intimidating. I look at both of you who are completely stylish. I think you look beautiful. I do. And
it looks good.
And it's like I want to adapt that. I want to be that. I mean, is that what you create fashion as? Are you trying to make it as easy as possible for us, or does it just come naturally?
Oh, I think it comes naturally sometimes, but at the same time, you don't want to impose on people on how they should feel.
Right.
So you want to do a piece or you want to do works that people are able to find their own definition. You need to find your own voice.
Yeah, it's actually,
your clothes,
that's actually very interesting. Very exciting when a person takes something that I've created and you interpret it on your identity.
I don't want to just interpret, I want to buy it. And
you buy it and
I want to buy it and have it. I'm looking at what you're wearing and I want to bring it back to South Africa again. Marianne Fassler, another icon that I enjoy. I mean, local designer, amazing. I actually looked at some of our stuff online the other day, incorporating traditional African motifs and contemporary designs. Here in our own studio, we saw some of your designs earlier as well, Gilmore, that just brings in also some African inspiration and that brings us back home. When we think of people and being inspired like our designers that are well known, and I'm going to call you guys up and coming because I've never worn you guys. So when we think of that, what is the one message that you want to bring to the table, especially if we think of our environment and how we design?
For me, my collection is all about telling African stories. So if you're connecting with Imprint, you're taking a part of Africa. So that's something that always speak about what I create. So that's basically what I bring to the table, and that's a fresh perspective to things. So.
And then on the other side, I mean, for what we do with Arakani, basically, we try to find inspiration from our surroundings. I mean, I come from Zimbabwe, and our mothers and our aunts, they're from Lupane, Bulawayo. And then growing up, I would see my mom or my grandmother doing crochet or doing basketry. So we translate that. This is like how they used to live. And to them, it's still modern. So we shouldn't say we're living in the modern world. To them, it's still modern. So we take that inspiration and just put it on Arakan, and then we just use the materials to do almost the same thing that they used to do with basketry.
You know what inspires me this morning?
Yes.
They learned from all the women, but here the men are sewing this morning. So I'm totally proud of both of you. Well, it just shows how our environments can inspire us to just go forward. And hey, man, you shape your environment, and I hope you're inspired this morning. This is your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Stay with us. We will be back after the break.